How we doing, Saints? This is John Lynch. Just wanted to record a short video for you all who are not able to attend this afternoon's meeting to review some training technique and philosophy, as well as our summer program. So just for the purposes of this video and to keep it rather short, we're going to talk just about the summer program, and we'll start now. So the summer program is essentially split into two different versions to follow the training cadence that our two sections of teams are on. There will be two programs. One will be primarily for spring and winter sports, and the other will be for fall sports. And that just kind of is in line with where you guys are at currently and getting you back to campus in order to either peak for your season or, be serviceable to start training at a high level when you do return. Starting on May 20th. Both sets of programs start on May 20th, and that is to give you time for finals week, which is next week, and also to travel. All right, I think it's unrealistic to program when you should be traveling, so we're going to condense that in, and we'll start on May 20th. Please make sure you have a place to train. If you need modifications or body weight or something like that, please let me know. I'm still in the process of developing those programs, but they should be ready by that date. Okay, so here we go. Just a few general notes on the execution of this program before we dive into the content of it. But this is a bi-weekly linear undulating program, and I'll explain more about what that means. But essentially, you'll be doing a set of exercises one week that's different from the exercises you'll do in the following week from then, but they kind of work together to broaden the spectrum of muscular adaptation in the positions that you'll be using. So just look out for that, and we'll kind of talk about that as we go through the program. But other notes, just starting right off the bat, July 4th is a deload week. All right. So this is, though the fall program is 1 week shorter, this is basically a 6-week phase program. And when I wrote the blocks that are listed, so spring and winter, you'll start on block 2, fall, you'll start on block 3, and that just continues on in an annual plan basis from where you were at. You'll pair all corresponding exercises. So anytime you see A, you're going to circuit those exercises. B, circuit those exercises. So do the first one, do the second one, do the third one, and then go back to the top and do the first one again. So that's what those letters indicate. Pay attention to tempos and rest times. Okay. At first, they're not necessarily prevalent except for on Friday. But once you get deeper into the program and you start having these Tuesdays and Thursdays or other days programmed for speed and conditioning, that's when it gets extremely important that you pay attention to the rest times. Also, there are exercises in here such as a pause clean that will indicate that you pause for 2 seconds at the top of the knee. Please just pay attention to those. I try to put notes in as well as actual tempo listings to make it as obvious as possible, but those are very important. Just input all your weights, and if you have issues with what the weights that TeamBuildr are giving you, so for example, there are times when I program 87.5% and then 90% in back-to-back sets. If you have a max that is not very high, it might give you the same weights for both of those sets. Go ahead and look at the percentages, adjust the sets 5 or 10 pounds so that it makes sense if you need to. And then, in the instance that you need to adjust those weights for whatever reasons, please go ahead and do that. It's always better to adjust a weight to a more sensible weight than it is to do something that is either too heavy or too light, get injured, and not have a great effect of the program. So, just change the weights if you need to, but pay attention to the emphasis. There are certainly heavier sets toward the ends of these programs, and there are some speed days. And on speed days, it's important to be fast. So you don't want to go putting a whole lot of weight on the bar or whatever you're using, and it's slowing you down so that you don't get the required emphasis. If you at any point have questions, please FaceTime, call, text, email me with whatever you need. I'll put it on the board in this meeting we're gonna have, but my cell phone number is 413-535-7253. You can give me a call if you need it, and I'm happy to help you out with whatever you need. All right. So just quickly getting into the program here. Like I said, it's a 2-week phase. This is the spring and winter sports summer block 1. So this is May 20th, and I can only go down so far until I got to switch months. So just bear with me for a second. But this is a 3-day-a-week resistance and 2-day-a-week recovery, or basically optional conditioning. So this does say recovery. This is, just know this is optional, but I do recommend, if you're not getting outside hiking or doing, kayaking, whatever you're doing in the summer, then you might want to add this in. A little bit of steady state cardio will help to improve the pace of recovery and allow you to be faster or stronger for each subsequent day. I'll try not to be repetitive as I go through these. Day 1 is a strength day. Day 2 is an explosive power day, and day 3 is a capacity day. You can see the front rack split squat. You can see the incline press. Those are your primaries. And then in the second week, sumo deadlift and shoulder press. So think of these 2 weeks as kind of one slice of that training puzzle. And then, when you go into the next set of weeks, the reps go down and the exercises repeat. So we're just doing that to, keep it fresh and engaging. And, if you're doing 6 weeks with the same exercises, you can start to develop some issues. So hopefully by switching between exercises more frequently, will be fresher longer. The day 3, but I'm calling it day 2 because it's basically the second day in the program, is a explosive power day, total body power. So you've got your jumps, your cleans, barbell, dumbbell, pause clean. You do have a bench press for speed here. So, think about what speed means. You should definitely feel fast. If you're adding weight so that it slows you down, then just go ahead and keep that, lighter for that reason. Then in the Friday day, you've got, this is a capacity day. So these Friday days are pretty consistent throughout both sets of programs. But I do want to just briefly explain here what a sliding set is. So this is critical to the execution of this program. Complete each set of exercises at the same weight. If you can get all reps of each set without stopping, add weight on the following week. If you fail to get all reps in sequence, keep the same weight on the next week. 3 sets of 6 at dumbbell front squat without pairings and resting 60 seconds between sets. So there it is. So you do the set, you wait, you do the set, you wait, you do the set. If you get all the reps, then you just keep track of that. And on the next week, you go up in weight. For that reason, these workouts do not change. They stay the same for the whole first and the whole second phase. From there, we will move into the spring and winter summer 2. So I'm just going to fast forward here to the 4th of July week. Where am I at? Okay, I'm going to flip forward one more month here because I can still see it. All right, so this is the 1st of July, Monday, July 1st. This is the 4th of July week. This is a week 0 for that reason. Week zero is essentially a preparatory week to get you ready for the second phase. So this week would mirror the week 2 of the second phase. And then into week 3, the exercises start to adjust. Just a couple sets here to keep it light and just get you ready. Also trying to be cognizant of vacation time and the fact that you guys might be, doing things that take a higher priority than training. I understand, and that's okay. That's why we put this week in, and we really structure the summer around this. So if there was a week to miss, this would be it. I'm certainly not telling you to miss this week, but you can definitely put together a skeleton of training. You can hit these running days without any weight room. So even if you're, out somewhere remote, you can still do that. But just trying to get you ready for what's to come in the next few weeks. Really, the biggest change here for the spring and winter is we just add a couple conditioning days. So with the start of the second phase, the exercises change and progress a little bit. But we do add Tuesday and Thursday. We've got some build-up sprints and some flying sprints. Build-ups are just building to max speed and then shutting down. You'll see that in the notes. flying sprints are just exactly what we'll do to test. We'll build up for a certain amount of time, and then we'll maintain full speed for a certain amount of time. You'll always finish with the stretch flow, and I do throw you the transit dynamic warm-up just to mix it up those days. I think any of our warm-ups are pretty good for any days, but the transit is great when you're about to do a running drill, so we'll put it in for that. The 300-yard shuttle, there's a few different variations of it. If you have questions about that, you can certainly let me know. I plan on putting a video in. So right now there's no video for this, but I do plan on putting a video in with me breaking down how to do that exact drill. So if you don't know, just click on it and you should be able to pull that up once I get it installed. And then finally, you've got that same Friday day that just progresses in format and exercise. In the early section, you're going lower, upper push, upper pull. In this section, you go lower, upper, lower, upper, lower, upper. So you just add another lower body. And it just is a little bit more complex, but for more or less, it's the same thing. Still following that sliding sets and trying to progress as you go. This program ends on August 16th, just in time for you to return for the start of school, which I believe is the middle of this week, 21st or 22nd, something like that. So, take your time traveling back. The only other thing I would say about this program is since it does have 3 days a week, if you need to, you can kind of combine these days. If you're going to say take a Friday and go somewhere, it's certainly okay to shift. Like you could take the speed day, put it before this heavy total series. Actually, what would be better is probably put it before the Wednesday day and slide the Wednesday. So you could do Monday on its own, Tuesday, do the Wednesday day, and then you could condense Friday in. If you had to miss anything, probably miss the shuttles. Certainly not telling you to miss the shuttles, but if you're going to cut something out, this does supplement a little bit of that conditioning, which is why we build into it in the early part of the phase one. So feel free if you need to do that. And other than that, we'll jump right into the fall sports calendar. So here's the fall sports calendar. And just to note, the phase 2 of the spring and winter sports calendar is by and large a replica of the phase 1 from the spring sports. So we don't have to talk a lot about that. You're going to see a lot of the same things in the same format. Because the difference in where you guys are all at right now is you're just one phase behind. So there's not much of a need to be any more fancy than that. Just got to get in and do the work. I'm going to fast forward to this 4th of July week, or I guess I should say the first week in July, because that's where it really starts to get fancy and interesting. So again, week 0 for this first week here. So if you need to miss a week, this would be it for 4th of July, but this does prepare you with a limited amount of volume for what to expect throughout July and into August to be ready to compete in season when you return fall sports. So I've labeled the series here just to keep it easy to understand and progress through. But Monday, you got the speed series, and this all should happen in a running area. Even if you can't do any resistance training because you don't have a facility, you can still find a place to run, and you're going to get 50% of what we need just by doing that, even if you don't do resistance training. So sprinting is probably, if I'm going to say one thing, sprint. If you do one thing, sprint. Sprint gives you the velocity that you need. Those adaptations, it's going to make it so that it's easier to stay healthy when you return onto campus, and some really valuable adaptations that are hard to get. They don't just come around, easily. So train that if you only train one thing. Anyway, well, because we're adding the running in on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, Monday, Thursday, and Friday are your big run days. We're going to keep the rest of it pretty low. Okay, so that doesn't mean we're not going to do anything, but this is a mobility series. This is a great way to add in a warm-up, especially to transition from the run into the lift. But you're going to do this mobility series, and then you've got just 4 exercises of heavy strength. This is a heavy upper, so the split is going to be speed lower, Then heavy upper on Monday. We've got jerk, we've got bench. We've also got push jerk and barbell bench. All right. So those are the two. And then if you look at the Tuesday day, this would have been the second half of your Monday day. But because we're running, we're taking it out and we're putting it on Tuesday. You only have lower body, heavy lower on Tuesday. There's no running. So here you've got the back squat, reverse lunge RDL, and sumo deadlift, forward lunge, and kickstand RDL. Again, just switching the variations and keeping that bi-weekly pattern going for both programs, for both phases. Again, with a mobility series to start off before that, I guess if you really wanted to, you could put the quad flow in here if you were, feeling pretty tore up, or you could even add it in, so you can be fluid with those and discretionary with what you need. Wednesday is a recovery day. If you are toast, then you can take that off, but I still think it's good if you could go for a walk, go for a light jog. That's your opportunity to do these things because that's what's going to get blood flow, and blood flow is what delivers nutrients through the blood to the muscle. So just simply doing something easy like that is what's going to allow you to recover just a little bit faster. That's your Wednesday and your Saturday in this phase, fall sports. Thursday is your can change of direction and explosive day. I'm going to scroll down just to a real week here so you can see. But basically, this is going to be your moderate to higher level plyometrics, lateral bound, broad jumps. I pair it with some core exercises to break it up. So what I don't want you to do is do all your bounds and then take 10 seconds and do all your broad jumps. All right. Do that core in between so that your legs can relax and recover. And when you come back and you go do that broad jump, that you've got, the ability to be fast and explosive. So don't take those for granted. That's organized that way for a reason. Then you can see here, Pro Agility 5-10-5. If you don't know what a Pro Agility is, read the description. I'll also put a more detailed video in so that you can see it. And then a 60-yard shuttle. So as you can see, the Pro Agility is a B series. The 60 is a C series. So do all the Pro Agilities. You've got 2 sets of 5 with 30 seconds rest between reps. 30 seconds rest between reps and 2 minutes rest between sets. So what that means is you're going to do 2 sets of 5. So you do 5 drills. Every time you do one drill, take 30 seconds, reset, do the next drill. After you do all 5, take 2 minutes. And then after that 2 minutes, do your next set of 5 with 30 seconds of rest in between. So that's the format you want to look for to indicate the work to rest ratios, and just, try to get full recovery. 30 seconds is not full recovery, but 2 minutes should be. So as you can see, we're putting you on the line a little bit and trying to make it hard for a dense section of time, and then we'll give you full recovery, and then we'll do it again. Right. And the sets and reps just progress. The work to rest might progress as well, or it does progress as well. So pay attention to that as you go through that. Then following up the Thursday run is the explosive lift. So again, we're trying to keep the emphasis the same, which is why on Monday we do speed, lower, heavy, upper, so we don't have a contrasting stimulus. Thursday, the run is explosive and the lift is explosive. So that's why we do it back to back. We've got pause hang clean. So pay attention to that. That's not one we've done yet, but you know what to do. If you don't, just read the description, snap into the RDL position, bar above the knee. Here it is. 2-second pause in that tempo. And then you're just going to hit that rep as hard as you can. The weights in there are not terribly heavy. So it's going to go up to that really is 67.5, but it rounds up. So as you can see, you should feel fast. It's not a day for you to tap out your cleans. We'll have that when we come back. We are not testing cleans over the summer. You shouldn't have any terribly heavy cleans. Even if I go down to the last week here, which is August 8th, that last clean is 4 sets of 3 at 73%. So completely manageable. You should not be failing your cleans really at all. And just to continue on talking about this, again, this is the last week, or maybe I'll show you the last 2 weeks here. But The conditioning now is added into the top of the Friday day. You're welcome. One set of three here, and just pay attention. So right now, this is a 30 yards apart for 5 reps, 300-yard shuttle, and it alternates. Well, nope, it goes 3 weeks of each. So you got 3 weeks of 25 for 6. So you got 25-yard cone splits for 6 reps. And then the second, third, you've got 30-yard cone splits for 5 reps. Okay, so just pay attention to that change, and the work to rest adjust with it. But you go ahead and do those, and then you come in and you do your capacity lift after this. As you can see, this does get up to a fairly high rep range. You got two weeks of 3x15, so you got that to look forward to. And if the sliding sets are working the way they should be, then it's going to be difficult to get those last sets. But that's okay. If you don't get it, don't go up. If you get it, go up. All right, stick to that. Be consistent with that pattern, and your results will be there. Again, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. But a couple things specifically about that fall sport execution. We try to avoid mixed training effects into the program. All right. And I went through it already, but I want you to understand that we need to emphasize recovery to be fast. If you're doing a sprint or some kind of speed work, explosive work, and you're not respecting the recovery times, then you're not going to get faster. You're going to get slower. Okay. If you are fresh, you'll be fast. You have to be fast to get faster. All right. So if you're taking less recovery than you want to take, than what's prescribed, and you're not running as fast as you possibly can, the result will be just that. You will not be running as fast as you could possibly be. So respect the rest periods. The last thing I'll say, and this is very intentional and very important, but the program does end on August 9th. So I'm going to go flip to August. The program ends August 9th. All right. So what you need to do is take your recovery. If you've been training the whole summer, then you will be ready to go. If you haven't been training all summer, do not start 3 weeks out. It's better that you come back fresh than it is for you to come back after 2 or 3 weeks of training. Here's why. Your body will remember the training it deals with for the last 4 weeks. All right. So if I train week 1, then I have that stressor on me for the next week. Maybe on the 3rd or 4th week, then I've got week 1, week 2, week 3 that's still affecting my body until I get to week 5. Once I'm in training week 5, now I've got training weeks 1, 2, training weeks 2, 3, and 4 still affecting my body. Understand what I'm saying? So if you come in and you do just July, then you're going to do a program that you're not ready for, and you're going to come back behind the ball because you didn't have the prerequisite training. If you do start training 3 weeks out, then start training with the week from May 20th and progress from there, because then at least you'll be progressing at a rate that's proper. And even then, it won't be, because you've missed 6 weeks of training already. All right. So it's important to stay on it and continue to get our gains that we've seen already through the better part of the spring and the last month for all of our sports. But intent and consistency are the two things. Intent is developed through understanding what you're doing and then going ahead and doing it, even though it's hard. And consistency is doing that every day. If you do those things, you're going to be in a great position to come back, hit your stride, test well, and quite frankly, the reason we're all doing this, to win games.